Hello everybody, it's Melissa Thomas with C2C Stamping, and I wanted to show you how to make this month's Senior Center cards. So going to just make sure that everything's in range. So we're using the Awesome Otters stamp set. This is actually a free stamp set from Sale-a-bration in the spring. So during Sale-a-bration, we do it twice a year. You can earn free items, and we earned a free stamp set for everybody in the spring. So everybody is getting this stamp set. If you don't have Awesome Otters, you could use any other critter, but if you're here and you're attending the South Austin Senior Center, Senior Activity Centers classes, then you should have this stamp set. The only other thing that you really need is some black ink, and you should all have like a black ink spot from when we've done a class. And these are the two cards we're gonna make. So I'm gonna show you how we're making them. So. You'll also need something to color the otter with. So you could choose to use markers, matte pencils. If you have some watercolor pencils, those are fun. These are blend markers, and I'll show you how to use these. So I'm gonna help you guys with these cards. So let's do this guy first. And for this card, you have a pool party card base, and we're just gonna, it's already scored for you. And everyone always asks, you know, how do I fold it? Which way is the right way? There's a ridge here, we call it the worm, and we always say to hide the worm. So the ridge or the mountain is what goes on the inside of the card. And then you've got a really fun strip of paper, and you can use any kind of glue that you have to glue that down. And you're gonna glue that on your white panel that you have, and you're just gonna glue it all the way over on the left. All right, and then for this card, I made it a birthday card. So I took the It's Birthday Time sentiment, and I put it on a mount, and I just stamped and stamped and stamped. So I don't have my stickers on mine, just because I'm been a little lazy with getting all my stickers on. But all we're doing is we're stamping. And this doesn't have to be perfect because we're sticking the little otter on top of it, right? You can just stamp away. You don't have to stamp as close. And you'll notice mine's not perfect either, but that's okay. So this one's really close. I did a lot of It's Birthday Time on this one and less on this one, and it really is a-okay. All right, the other thing that you have in your kit is you have a nice bright pink circle. You also have a white circle. And then you should have, I hope, a scrap of white to stamp and cut his little hat out. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put those two pieces there. And we're gonna get the little hat out. And we're gonna get our party guy. So there's 3 different otters in the stamp set. There's the one that's swimming on his back. There's the one who's kind of in the water. And then there's the guy called the party guy. So we're gonna stamp the hat on a scrap piece of paper. Doesn't really matter. And then we're gonna stamp this guy on there. He's super cute. All right, then we're gonna get our markers. In this case, I'm gonna grab my blend markers. And I was hoping I had these pulled already. All right. So these are alcohol-based markers, and what that means is that you can use an ink like Memento, a water-based ink, and this won't make it run, like it won't cause issues. But if I was to use like stays on ink, then the black from the ink would kind of mix with my markers, and it would cause this whole project to be kind of muddy. The other thing about the alcohol markers is that they bleed, so you'll want to be careful if you do have some of these markers at home. And you can also blend them. So I have the light and the dark of the soft suede marker here, and I'm gonna put some dark pieces down here. I'm gonna kind of color some of him. You know, he would be darker, right, on the bottom, kind of the bottom of his tail. It looks like there's some dark kind of spots here. And then I'm gonna take the lighter one and I'm gonna come in, and what you can do with these markers is you can almost like blend out. I'm gonna use the bullet end instead of the brush end because it's a little tight of a space. But see how I'm just rubbing on top? I'm rubbing over it, and the paper's never gonna pill, and it's gonna blend the dark and the light spots all together. So then we're gonna have a really cool blend look, but with a marker, which just isn't normal. Like, you can't normally achieve that with a marker. That's kind of unusual. So we're gonna color him in. And then I would probably get like a different color for his belly. So maybe I would get like a crumb cake or another blend marker. So one of the things at the senior center is that they've been wanting to use the Big Shot more. And they got a cut and emboss machine. And so we have been doing a little bit more of that. So this time we ended up cutting all of our circles out and our fun little scallop circles. And then the other thing is that they've said that they wanted to make a little bit more complicated cards. So this one's definitely a little bit more complicated because we introduce all of the new, coloring techniques. Now this guy's a lot darker than this guy, but it's okay. All right, and black too. So I'm gonna make his nose really black so that it stands out. And then I've got a crumb cake marker here. Let's see. Yeah, it's a good alternative brown for his tummy. There we go. All right. It's a little darker than I would like, but that's okay. No big deal. He's still cute. All right, so we're going to take our card. We're going to put our card base piece down. So I'm just using some wet glue because this is what I have on my desk right now. And make sure we've got that all spread out. The wet glue is nice because it kind of gives you an extra second to, make sure things are straight. And then we're gonna glue him on the pink. Super cute. And then we're gonna pop that up with some dimensionals, and then we're going to cut his little birthday hat out. So I'm just gonna go around the hat. So remember, the key when you're fussy cutting something is to move the paper. Don't move your scissors. So, and it's also handy to have smaller pieces of paper when you're cutting. So it just makes it easier than having to move the whole thing. And this is one reason why I like snips, is because they're sharp all the way to the tip, which makes it a lot easier to do stuff. And then last week when we were in class, we, a couple of folks at the senior center have some low contrast vision issues. And so we were talking about the black dimensionals and how easy they are to see. And so I would encourage you, if you've never had black dimensionals and you want to give them a try, I think they're fun. And I would encourage you to give that a try. So now we've got our guy and he is having a blast at his party. All right, so we have done one. Let's take a look at the other one. So the other card has a lot of layers. It is, but similar. So we've got a Misty Moonlight card base. This is a retired blue paper, but it's really pretty. We ran the paper through the art gallery, I think it's called art gallery, embossing folder. So this just got run through the machine and now it's got this really cool texture. We're gonna go ahead and glue that down. All right, and then we're gonna glue. We've got our paper here that our otter's gonna swim on. So we'll do one with the swirl and then the other side has kind of the marble look. So we'll make one bright and bold and we'll make one kind of softer and then you guys can decide which one you like best. We're just gonna glue this in the middle of this. There we go. And then we're gonna glue that. So this just has a couple of layers, but it's not complicated. It's just got a few extra layers than probably what we have done before. And we're just gonna put that in the middle of that. All right, and then we are going to stamp and punch out our little guy. So we stamped our guy, and then in this case, I colored him with the markers. In this case, I colored him with the watercolor pencils. So it doesn't really matter how you color him. I see that I don't have a yellow one, so I can't finish putting this card together. But the only other piece that you need to do is the You Are Utterly Awesome, which is just a little sentiment, and we'll make a little tag out of this. So we're just gonna stamp on the right. And then we've done this, I think, once or twice before, but we're going to make a little banner end. I'm gonna trim it down just a little bit, but all you do for the banner end is you cut up the middle, and then you go from the right corner to the middle, and then you go from the left corner to the middle, and then you make yourself your own little banner. So now we have our guy, and he's gonna swim. And then on this one, I don't know if I included this in the to-go packets. We did have these little like pebble things, but I honestly think that these are super cute, and I don't really even think you need much to enjoy and love these cards. So I hope you liked the cards and you had fun making them. I'm gonna zoom in really quick before we go. And thanks, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. I hope that things are going well. Next month, we'll be tackling some fall and Halloween stuff. So can't wait to do that. And we'll see you next month at the Senior Center or here on YouTube. All right, bye, y'all.